quickly show a text adventure I've been building using LLMs for a hackathon. The theme of the hackathon was like 80s text adventure. So here's kind of a text adventure where you enter commands and you get text out. As you can see, it's driven by an LLM. Here I have the LLM logs kind of showing. They will expose all kind of spoilers, but I think it's interesting to have them go by, especially for this. So here's some of the intake. In the game, you wake up in an underground bunker with an AI named Amma who tries to, I don't know, call you or something, but also needs to ask you your name and such. And there's a couple different triggers about that. So the goal of this game then is to like figure out what happened where you are, what happened to the rest of the world. And then finally, deal with some of the reality of the things that you find out. So right here, we're kind of going through some of the intake parts. One of the things I've done here is you don't quite act directly. So you might notice that like sometimes when I type things, the same thing doesn't come out, and they actually go through a prompt that kind of translates your text into something more specific. One of the things is that allows you to be more brief, but also, while there's not many mechanics at the moment that allow you to do something like try to like fix a terminal or something, that's something that you won't just be able to do. Instead, we have to fix a terminal into attempt to fix a terminal, and then see if it actually works, and so on and so forth. So I thought it's a way of kind of exploring a little bit of indirection here with a story about dissociation syndrome that tries to make up for it. So I'm going to go into some different rooms here. Here she mentioned that I have turned 328, and this triggers a flashback where I remember right before I went to sleep in 2038. Each time now there's multiple entities potentially. Alma kind of follows you around everywhere, but here we encounter Marta. And that can be something like to get a description of her. It's a little bit overeager in reaction at the moment, as you see. There are a couple of key characters in the game. They're not all wired together in a great way, but here's a key character who might be able to tell me something about the world, and she'll unveil one secret, which then I can bring to another thing, and so on and so forth. Here, she tells me what the year is. Alma is going to try to like cover up everything. So once you do these, then you eventually figure out what's going on with the world around you, and so on and so forth. And different people can kind of unlock different things in that way. So here's a GitHub repo. It is in enb/intra game. If you look at just to get like a little bit of an idea of how it works, here is like where all the different entities, these are like autonomous things. So Amma is defined here, the player is actually defined here, as well as all these other characters. Right, here's a character named Harold. Right now, Amma is the only one that's like really complex, and she has a lot of methods add to her that do things like track the introduction process and also can like enter into different personality states. But each entity potentially can have its own kind of custom commands and triggers and things that happen. And so that way you can take the like kind of full flexibility of an LLM, but then use it to create triggers that go through a plot line, much like a traditional, more grounded text adventure would be. And yeah, that